Okay, looking at this question here, it says this cylinder needs to be completely coated in a special sealing fluid. Each litre of fluid covers 2 square metres, allowing 15% for wastage. How much fluid is required? Okay, let's look at the question. We've got this cylinder. Okay, so we need to know how to work out the something of a cylinder. It needs to be completely coated. Okay, so we're looking at the outside of the shape, so that's probably going to be surface area. Each litre of fluid covers 2 square metres, so when we come to work out how much fluid's required, we need to know that part. And we need to allow 15% wastage for our fluid. Okay, so I already know where to start. We've got to work out the surface area of this cylinder. Okay, now a cylinder is made up of 2 shapes. It's got a circle top and bottom, and it's got a rectangle that goes around the outside. If I take that outside part and I unroll it, then I'll have a rectangle. Okay, so first off, circle. I'm going to draw my circle. It's got a radius of 7 meters, and I'm going to have 2 of them. Okay, so there's times 2 circles, and this is a circle. I'm also going to have a rectangle. My rectangle is around the outside of the thing, and it has a height of 6 meters, and its length, well, let's look at the length of the rectangle. The rectangle actually touches this circle, goes all the way around the circle. It goes all the way around the circle. So the length is actually going to be the circumference of this circle. Okay, and circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, so if we're looking at the rectangle, we're going to have 2 times pi times, and the radius was 7. Okay, which, if I use my calculator, 2 times pi times 7 is, and now it pops up with this, 14 pi. I wanted to do a decimal, so I'm going to hit this button. Mine says SD, yours might say FD. Okay, so I hit that, and it pops up with the decimal. So the length is 43.9, and I'm going to go to 2 decimal places, so that 8, the 2 doesn't touch it, so that's fine. Meters, square meters. Okay, just that meters, so that's the length. Okay, now it's time to work out the areas. So I've got area of the circle is, now the rule for area of a circle is pi r squared. I remember that because it's got a square in it and area is measured in square units. So pi times the radius was 7 squared is pi times 7 squared, press my button, 153.9. Now I'm going to go to 2 places, so that 8 is actually going to round the 3 up to a 4. 153.94. 153.94 square meters. Okay. Now, one thing we do need to do is, because we've rounded this, that is not an equals now. Okay, because it's not exactly equal. That equal sign, I need to make it wavy to say is approximately equal to. Okay. Now I'm going to do the area. Now I'm going to do the area of my rectangle here. Okay, so area of the rectangle. Now, area of a rectangle is length times width. Okay, so let's look at the length. The length was this guy here. Okay, so he's on, he should be a wavy equals 2 because we rounded him. 43 43.98 meters, and it's multiplied by 6 meters high. Okay, and that's going to be about, it is 43.98 times 6, 263.88. Square meters. And then now I've got the area of a circle and I've got the area of a rectangle. So I've got the two parts that make up my cylinder. I can work out the total surface area. Okay? And that's going to be two circles plus the rectangle, which is, I'm going to have to do this here, okay, 153.94, one of the circles, and that's times 2. Okay, and that's going to be about plus that. Okay, I'll just make sure my units are all in there. Now that comes out to 153.94 times 2. Now I can do this all in one line actually. Bracket plus 263.88 is 571.76 square meters. Okay, so I found the surface area of my cylinder. I've got 571.76 square meters. Now, the next part of the question, it needs to be coated in a sealing fluid. Okay, each litre of fluid covers 2 square meters. Allow 15% wastage. That's where I'm going to hit next, 15% wastage. What does that mean? It means that sometimes you get it wrong, or you stuff it up, or it doesn't go on properly and you need to do it over again. So we're going to put in a contingency of 15%. So I'm going to find an extra 15% of that. Okay, let's just do this. We're going to write down wastage. Okay, is total surface area plus 15%. Okay, which is this number, 571.76 square meters. And we're going to add on 15% of that number. Okay, well, to find 15%, I need to times this number by 0.15. So that's just going to be 571.76 times 0.15. Okay, so what I've got there is my whole adding on 15% of that number. Okay, let's do it. Calculator. 571.76 plus 15% of that, 571.76 times 0.15 is 657.524 square meters. Okay, now I've done my wastage, I can do the last part of the question. The last part of the question said, okay, each litre of fluid covers 2 square meters. How much fluid is required? Well, this is how many square meters it is, and so each litre, okay, if it covered 1 square meter, I'd need that many litres. Okay, so but each litre covers 2, so I'm just going to divide that by 2. So fluid needed equals, what are we going to call this? Total surface area plus wastage divided by 2 litres. Just divide by 2. Okay. So that is 657.524 square meters divided by 2 is 328.762. 328.762. And now that's fluid. This is in liters. Okay. I don't know if you saw what I did there. I pressed, if I hit shift and then you press the that button that has ants above it, okay, it puts answer on the screen, so it's going to take your last answer and then do what you want with it. Saves having to type out everything. Okay, now we're going to finish off. Therefore 328.762. You don't really buy 762 of a litre, do you? Okay, so let's do this. Let's round it. I can't really, I have to buy in whole litres, don't I? So let's make that 320. That 7 is going to round up that 8. 329 litres. Okay, so therefore 329 litres are needed to coat the cylinder. So, quick recap. Found the surface area of the cylinder, found the wastage, divided it by what the coverage of the fluid was, and then I decided to put it into more sensible units, and then I've stated the answer. And that's that question done.